on the LegacyRetirementGroup.com phone line. Always look forward to our conversations every couple of weeks. Congressman Mike Carey, Ohio's 15th District, and you're in D.C., Michael.
Yeah, I sure am. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. So, the last couple of conversations we've had, Mike, have been, kind of around the government shutdown, but it takes a different turn this weekend, November 1st. It's going to look a little bit different with some of these benefits starting to expire for, 40 million Americans, starting with the SNAP benefits. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, yeah, and I mean, I think that's one of the things that we thought would not happen. I think most people in Congress, both Democrats and Republicans, figured that we would probably have the government open by November 1st. SNAP, of course, is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, but, I mean, this is... If the clean CR, which the House Republicans passed a number of weeks ago, if the Senate could have done it, we wouldn't see these SNAP benefits expire. I mean, we need to reopen the government, and the SNAP benefits will continue. So this is for 40 million Americans. And listen, by law, the USDA cannot extend these emergency funds for these programs. So that's why we have to reopen the government. Now, it's not just the SNAP program, which, I know that Senator Hawley has a bill that he's introduced in the Senate that would prevent SNAP from ever being shut down if there's or stopped if there's ever a government shutdown again. I know that Senators Marino and Houston have supported it, would support the bill. But again, it really kind of heals itself if we pass this clean CR. So, the SNAP program is one. I think WIC assistance for 7 million low-income mothers and kids is set to expire. We've got Head Start funding would be set to expire. That's 59,000 kids nationwide. Not to mention the federal workers that would be losing an entire month of pay. Again, all we have to do is get a handful more of Democrats to agree with something that they have agreed for the last 13 times we've done this, a clean CR. Let's not go into, let's not put people in harm's way.
No.
Keep the government open. This is what I've been saying since the shutdown.
Just need 5 Democrats, Mike. Just 5.
That's all we need.
They're just 5. And the fact that Hawley introduced the special legislation to keep SNAP going, and they indicated they wouldn't support that tells you really all you need to know. Is this really about health care, or is this more for cheap political points for the midterms? Are they trying to pin what will eventually be the longest government shutdown in U.S. history on the Trump administration to maybe gain some sort of ground for midterms?
It's unclear what they're trying to do, but I can tell you the Trump administration has nothing to do with this. The House Republicans did the job, passed the clean CR. And again, clean CR, for everybody that's driving in or listening this morning, understand this. All this is an extension of Biden-era spending.
Yep.
That's it. That's all. And so what my colleagues in the Senate, the Democrats in the Senate, want to try to do is add $1.5 trillion additional funding or spending onto a bill that's only 4 weeks. This is something that it would include repealing all of the Medicaid work requirements that we just passed that would prevent any of the illegal immigrants from being eligible. I mean, this extends the COVID level health subsidies without any oversight, meaning people could continue to game the system. I'm all about debating all of these things, but for goodness sake, let's continue to fund SNAP. Let's continue to fund WIC, Head Start. Get the government open, period.
And Mike, just to go back to, you mentioned the USDA, people are appealing to them to somehow open up some contingency funds. It's not available for regular benefits. These contingency or emergency funds from USDA and SNAP benefits, those are earmarked for natural disasters. Is my understanding anyway. You can't just do it if the government is shut down.
That's exactly correct, and I think that's what you see in Josh Hawley's bill is trying to just say if we go into this, if we have another issue, and again, we haven't had this in many, many years, but we haven't had people in the Senate that that most of the time we understand that we have to keep the government open to continue to fund SNAP and WIC and to make sure people are paid, federal employees, make sure our TSA agents, and if you're going to the airport and you see our TSA agents, thank them. Air traffic controllers, thank them. Our National Weather Service, FEMA, people that are working in all of the federal government positions. Now, and I'm concerned about our Head Start programs, rural funding for healthcare. All of these things could be averted if, like you say, Mike. I mean, 5 Democrats in the Senate say, you know what?
Just need 5.
We're going to do what is right for the American public. We're not going to play politics with this. We're going to keep it a clean CR. We'll debate other issues once we keep the government open so we can take care of Americans.
It makes so much sense to me, Congressman.
It
really does. You just need 5. And thanks to you and your colleagues in the House doing your job and getting this thing done. But so you're in D.C. now. You've been back and forth between D.C. and here in Ohio. What's been going on in the district?
Well, I mean, we've been all, the one thing I always try to explain to people is with a shutdown, it's kind of like snow days, and so we have made plans for in-district work period at both in November and December. So what we're trying to do is we've met with county commissioners, some in Fayette County. We've been up in our western part of the district in Sydney for some of the murals and some meeting with some of their county commissioners, some of the local chambers of commerce, the Ohio Chamber of Commerce, the Dublin Chamber of Commerce. And also I try to get when I get to D.C., and we've been doing this last few weeks. We're operating on a 48-hour window because we're hopeful that the Senate can get its job done. And then we in the House will have 48 hours to return to D.C. and vote. So the team has been working it out that I'm here in D.C. And unfortunately now when we have school groups that come in, the team here in our office can't do the tours. I have to personally give the tours for the school groups. And so, it gives me a chance to talk to a lot of people there. But we've been all around the district. I know our team does a lot of stuff on social media. Of course, as you and I have talked before, I don't look at my social media, but I know that we're trying to get out there and talk to as many people as we can. Had the opportunity to do some stuff at the Ohio Carpenters Apprentice Training Program, and boy, I'll tell you, if you ever get a chance to go up there and look at that, I was talking to a guy named Andy Fox at Concosing, and some of the work that they're doing to empower our next generation of carpenters. Just truly remarkable, seeing kids from all over students from all over the state coming in to go on to this program. It's pretty amazing. So a lot of good things happening in the district. I think, our job is to try to get the Senate to do their job, which is to pass this clean CR and then get these SNAP benefits back to the people that deserve them.
I think it's cool that you gave the tour of the U.S. Capitol building to those middle school students. I think it was from Hardin Houston Middle School.
Up in from the Shelby County area. Yeah.
I know that's not necessarily your A1 number one job description, but as you pointed out, with a lot of your staff not on the job right now, it's like, okay, let the boss do it.
Well, and we have, of course, we have our team that's continued to work, and they will continue to work through this shutdown. But it's like, for example, here at the Capitol on the House side, we only have one door that's actually open in order to get into the Longworth, which is where my office is. We only have one door because a lot of the people simply aren't here.
Right.
So the lines getting into the building are pretty long, and then we have to physically bring them into the Capitol. But again, it's it's one of the things that we're having to do during this, but not nearly as important as what we really need to get done, which is taking care of the folks that need SNAP or WIC. And my message to my Senate colleagues: let's get this done. We can get it done in a week. Let's have this so we don't have any interruption.
Amen to that. So I guess the bigger question is, will you be at the Horseshoe on Saturday for Ohio State, Penn State?
No, but I tell you, I was at the Harvest of Hope function with Ohio State. They do an amazing job of raising money for cancer research. Megan and I went on Saturday. Just an amazing group of people. Ran into one of my dear friends, Stephen Chakowski, who works with Ohio State and the James, and my oldest son turned 24 this past weekend, and our kids used to play hockey together back in the day, and just interesting story. I didn't realize this, but if you look at Brutus, he has a set of twins that are a little younger. They go to Ohio State. So Stephen is now the father of two very big celebrities. So if I'm not at the shoe this weekend, I'll definitely be watching because I think one of them is Brutus this weekend.
Oh, that's very cool. Great story. We'll have to trade hockey parent stories at some point, too, because my youngest son plays as well. So
we got the younger ones in it now, too.
That's the greatest sport on the planet. All right, Congressman, always great to hear your voice. Thanks for continuing to fight the good fight, sir.
Thank you. Great to be with you.